Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Player coming at you with a brand new video, and today I'll be showing you guys exactly how to ensure that your PC is running at its optimal speed while providing multiple tips that will help you maintain a healthy PC. And don't worry, these are very simple and free things that you can do right now. Some might seem a little more technical, but they really aren't that complicated once I show you what to do. Just make sure you're following along. But before we start, I just want to thank everyone once again for how many subscribers I have today. I literally could not be here without you. So once again, thank you. If you want to get connected with me, feel free to join my Discord down in the description and drop me a follow on Twitter. I do answer PC questions in here, so if you have any questions, feel free to join, and I'll be answering all these tonight. But yeah, we can have a little talk in here about anything if you'd like. But without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. Alrighty, and before we start the video off, the first thing we're going to do is make a restore point in case you ever want to go back to the way your PC was before this video. But this isn't going to make any drastic changes, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do it just in case. So we're going to go into the bottom left of Windows, search create a restore point. It's going to come up, go ahead and click open. Once you're here, there's going to be all these tabs. You want to be under system protection, and then you're going to go to create. Name this whatever you'd like. I'm just going to name this powercfg. It's going to create a system restore point. It should take about like 5 seconds, and then you can go ahead and close it once it's done, click OK, and then let's dive straight into the tips. Alrighty, and to get started with that first tip, we want to make sure that everything is up to date. So firstly we want to make sure that Windows is up to date. Now go to the bottom left of settings and then go ahead and click update and security. Once you're here, you want to go ahead and check for updates. I keep mine fairly updated every time I log on and log off. As you can see, I'm already up to date. There will be some small updates if you have not already. Also, there might be an optional option to update to Windows 1909. Go ahead and do that if you have not already. This is going to give you a small FPS boost as well as like lowering your ping by a couple digits. Even after you do one update, make sure you check again, as there could be more behind it that do not show up, and they're like almost in a queue that you have to do one before the other. But once you've done that, we're good with Windows. You can go ahead and exit out of that. Next thing you want to go ahead and do is you want to go ahead and right click on your desktop, go ahead and click AMD Radeon software if you have an AMD. If you don't, there should be NVIDIA GeForce or NVIDIA control panel. You just want to know what kind of driver you have. You want to go ahead and go to that software, and then you just want to check it for updates. As you can see, I'm already up to date. And if you don't really have that on your desktop where you can't right click it, or you need a previous version of your driver because the one you have right now is not working well, you can go to AMD or NVIDIA's website, put in what type of GPU you have, and go ahead and search it, and then you can come up with a list of old graphics drivers. So you can see, I go ahead and search it. That is the newest driver right there for NVIDIA, and then the same thing for AMD if I were to go through with it. But once you've done that, you can go ahead and close out. Also, the next thing we want to make sure our BIOS is up to date. This is going to help our incompatibility issues, as well as just small things you may not realize. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and open up Speccy. We're going to need Speccy for this. I'm going to go ahead and leave that down in the description as well. I'm going to be looking for what type of motherboard I have. So I have a MSI Z170 Gaming N5. I'm going to go ahead and copy that to my clipboard. Open up the browser of your choice. Go ahead and paste it, and then just search BIOS at the end. You should go to your manufacturer's website of your motherboard. For me, it is MSI, so I'm going to go ahead and head there. And then you want to make sure that you downloaded the newest BIOS and you are fully updated. Once you've done that, you should be pretty much good. The next thing we want to check is the network driver, just to make sure that our PC is getting the best connection to our internet and to make sure that everything's running smoothly. So to do that, we're going to go to the bottom left, we're going to go to Device Manager, and we're going to find network adapters. Go ahead and click the arrow. We're going to look for your Ethernet adapter, whether it be if you do use your Ethernet. If you do use your Wi-Fi, look for your Wi-Fi adapter, and you're going to go ahead and look for updates on that as well. So you're going to go ahead and right click it, click update driver, and you're going to search automatically for updated driver software. For me, I should be already up to date. I do keep on top of this stuff. Like you can see, I already have the best drivers for this. So I'm going to go ahead and close it, exit out, and that's pretty much it for keeping us updated. Make sure you do have all your softwares up to date as well, although that is not as important. Alright, and the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to make sure that everything is running smoothly without any errors. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and open up the CMD command prompt. Once you're here, run it as an administrator. Click yes, this is going to open up, and then you want to type sfc /scan now. This is going to scan your Windows processes and just make sure that everything is running completely fine and that you're not missing any part of Windows that you should have. This is going to give you an error code if you do have anything wrong. It will try to fix it. If most of the time it will be able to resolve the issue, and it will tell you that down here once the verification is complete. However, if it gives you an error code, be sure to look that up. Go ahead and just Google it. I would try to help everyone, but I just can't get to everyone, as for me the issue is going to be mostly individual. Just make sure you Google it, look in different forums, and just use your resources to see what you can do to fix it. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can do, and just make sure that everything is running smoothly. So I'm going to go ahead and end that just so we can keep going with the video. And the next thing we want to do is check our drives for any errors. So we're going to go ahead and open up your file explorer. Once you're here, you're going to see the different drives you may have. For me, I'm going to click on my local disk, my C drive, my SSD. I'm going to go ahead and open this up for now. You're going to go to Tools, and you're going to check for any system errors. You're going to scan the drive, and this is going to not actually take like 20 to 30 minutes. It should take about like less than 5 at the most. But this is going to check your drive for any errors reading or writing, and as you can see, it says it was successfully scanned, so there's no errors there. And we want to go to our next drive. For me, I have a hard drive as well, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Tools here, check it again for errors. And this part, you want to only optimize your hard drive. Do not optimize your SSD, as it can reduce the actual lifespan. But for hard drives, it is almost like necessary to make sure that you are optimizing it. So you're going to go and click optimize, and then you're going to find the hard drive. As you can see, it says the hard disk drive. You want to optimize this one. You're going to go ahead and click it and click optimize. For me, I already have it optimized, so I am good. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And the next thing we want to make sure we do is we're going to go ahead and check our RAM and our memory to make sure that that does not have any errors as well. Now this is going to restart your PC, so if you want, you can come back and do this at the end of the video, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this now. Go to the bottom left of Windows. Once you do that, search Windows Memory Diagnostic. Make sure you open it, and you're going to go ahead and click Restart Now and check for problems. Or if I were you and you want to watch the rest of this video, like the good boy I know you are, you want to click the check for problems the next time I start my computer. This is going to take about like 5 to 10 minutes just to check your memory, to make sure that nothing is running wrong. It's going to come up with like a blue screen. It's going to look like everything's wrong, but it's just running offline and making sure that your memory is running error-free and at its perfection. But yeah, alrighty, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're getting every last drop of performance out of our PC. And to do this, we're going to go ahead and make a power plan for Windows. You want to go ahead and search PowerShell. Once you do this, click Run as Administrator. Go ahead and click Yes, and go ahead and copy the command I have down in the description. Use Control-C and press Control-V to paste it. Go ahead and click Enter. It's going to say Power Scheme Ultimate Performance. This is going to come up. Once you've done that and it comes out successfully, you can go ahead and close it. And you're going to go to the bottom left of Windows. Search Choose a Power Plan. Go ahead and open that up. Make sure you click Show Additional Plans. Make sure you click Ultimate Performance. This is going to make sure you get the ultimate performance on your higher end PC or lower end, and this is going to help you a ton. Once you've done that, make sure you go to like Hardware and Sound, and then go back to Choose a Power Plan just to make sure that it did save. After you've done that, you can go ahead and close out. And we're going to make sure that we have a couple things in Windows off that will slow our PC down. So you want to go to the bottom left of Windows once again, click Settings, go ahead and click Privacy, scroll all the way down to Background Apps. Make sure this is checked off. This is going to make sure all of these things are not running in the background, which will take resources and processing power away from your CPU, leading to lower frames and increased latency. The next thing we want to do is go back to the main menu of the settings, and we want to go to gaming. From here, you want to go to game bar and make sure this is turned off as well. It's going to make sure your PC is not using this. If you do not use it, this is mostly for Xbox and like clips and recording and screenshots. If you don't use this, you probably use your graphics card software to screenshot and make clips, which is the easier way. I do recommend that instead, as it will be less straining on your PC. Once you have that disabled, we can go ahead and close out of the Windows settings, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have fast startup enabled. To do this, we're going to go ahead and go to hardware and sound. From here, control panel should come up. You can go ahead and just search control panel as well. Both will come up. You can go to hardware and sound from here, and you want to go ahead and go to choose what power buttons do. And you want to go ahead and click change settings that are currently unavailable. If this is here, this is going to make sure that you can make any changes. Make sure turn on fast startup is checked on. From here, you want to save the changes, and you can go ahead and exit out of that as well. And we're just going to make sure that we have hardware acceleration turned off for a couple things and all the apps that do use it. For me, the apps that I use that use hardware acceleration is going to be Spotify, Google Chrome, and Discord. These are the most common ones. And to turn these off, you want to go ahead and go to Spotify. We're going to start with Spotify. Go ahead and go to the top 3 buttons in the top left. Go ahead and make sure hardware acceleration is checked off. This is going to take a lot of power off of your CPU. Make sure that it is running a lot faster and more dedicated resources for your game or anything else that you are doing. Like I said, Google Chrome does use this as well, so we're going to go ahead and go to Google Chrome. Go to the top 3 dots in the top right. Go to settings, scroll all the way down to advanced. We're going to keep on scrolling all the way down to system. Under system, it's going to say use hardware acceleration when available. Make sure this is off. Once you check this off, you may have to relaunch Chrome, and you can just close out of that as well. And then we have one more program that does use hardware acceleration. That's going to be Discord. So we can go ahead and open up Discord if you don't have it open already. And once Discord opens up, we're going to go ahead and go to the settings in the bottom left. Go to appearance, and we're going to make sure hardware acceleration is turned off here as well. As you can see, it says turn this off if you're experiencing FPS drops in games. You want to go ahead and turn it off, and we can go ahead and close out of Discord if you are not using it. But yeah, that's pretty much how to get more FPS. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple more things to keep your PC clean as well. Alrighty guys, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a couple programs that we're actually going to use to make sure that our PC is running at the fastest speed and gets rid of all the excess files that we do not use. So the first program we're going to use is we're going to use Speccy. I'll leave the link down to this in the description. Once you go ahead and open it though, make sure you save it to your desktop and just click yes. It's going to go ahead and open up. It's going to take a second to read all your specs, and the main focus here is that you want to make sure that your temperatures are at a safe temperature. So yellow is perfect. That is perfectly fine. Once it starts to hit orange, you just want to keep monitoring it. If it does hit red, that's going to be too hot. You want to focus on your GPU and your CPU, as they will be the highest temperature. So the Intel Core i5 that I have, the CPU, it's running at about 58 degrees Celsius. As you can see, it fluctuates. It should be safe all the way up to like 90 degrees Celsius, but you do want to monitor it. You don't want it to overheat. The same thing goes for the graphics card. It should be noted that if you do have an AMD Ryzen CPU, Speccy has had problems reading that temperature in the past, so it may be red, it may be like 90, high 90s, 100s. It's going to have an error reading that temperature, so it's not actually going to be accurate for specifically the AMD Ryzen CPU. But that's pretty much it for the Speccy program. We're going to go ahead and close that out. The next thing I recommend getting is CCleaner. Once you download this, I'll leave the link down in the description as well. You can see your specs at the very top here. And once you download it, I would go ahead and go to the Tools tab and go to the Uninstall tab. Here, uninstall everything that you do not need. Anything that is unnecessary you don't use, such as like probably Candy Crush, stuff like that, just go ahead, click it, uninstall, boom, get rid of it. Anything you don't need, you want to make your Windows as light as possible, just to make sure it's running as fast as possible. Next thing you want to do, go to your software updater. you just want to check and see if you have any programs to update. As you can see, I'm already up to date, so we are perfectly good there. Go to the next tab, we're going to go to startup, and you can see all these processes that want to start when we boot. For me, I have them all disabled, but if you want to enable one, say for example I want to enable Discord, go ahead and enable it. For you, they might be all enabled depending on if you've tweaked this before. I would just click on anything you do not need immediately when you boot into Windows, and if you don't know what it is, just go ahead and leave it enabled just for the safety. But I do not want Discord to boot when I boot into Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and we're going to disable it. As you can see, I have nothing running when I boot my PC, so I can get the fastest boot time possible, and that way I don't have any extra programs running in the background. The last thing I would do, once you've done all of that, I would go to Easy Clean and just click Start. You want to go ahead and analyze your PC, and then just go ahead and click Clean All, and just remove anything you have not done before. This is going to make sure you get all of those excess files off your PC, and making sure it's as clean as possible. Next thing I would do to make sure we get all those excess files off is you want to go to %temp%. It's going to open up this file folder. I've recently deleted this, so I don't have many files. For you, you may have like a long list of like thousands of files. You want to go ahead and just select all of them. So you just want to go ahead, drag your cursor over them, and then you want to go ahead and just right click delete, check and do this for all current items, and click skip. The reason not all of them will close, the reason not all of them will delete is because you do have that specific program open. So as you can see, I have Discord running in the background because I have opened it before and then I closed it. So it is still open. I could end the process and clear this file folder if I'd like, but I'm going to let it sit there just because it's not too big of a deal. The next thing I would do is I recommend using a third-party antivirus. So for me, I personally use ADW Cleaner right here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I'll leave the link down to this in the description as well. But once you do this, you just want to go ahead and click scan. Scan and make sure that you keep your PCs clean from malware and viruses in general. And once you've done that, you find any PUPs, viruses, anything like that, you want to go ahead and click quarantine. For me, I did a scan earlier today and I got rid of any extra stuff. And so I should be pretty clean. Yep, as you can see, I can run this basic repair if I'd like, or I can just skip it. For now, I'm going to skip it since I'm recording. And you just want to quarantine any problems you have. This is going to make sure that your PC is as clean as possible, and it gets anything that Windows Defender may miss. With that being said, it is still important that we do use our Windows Defender, which is our Windows antivirus. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go to the settings and Windows. We're going to go to update and security. Once we're here, we're going to go to Windows security, and we want to open Windows security. Alright, and as you can see, we're going to go to virus and threat protection, scan options. From here, I recommend doing a full scan as well as a Windows Defender offline scan. This is going to make sure that your PC is completely clean, and as long as you do this one time, I would do this once, maybe every month, just to make sure that your PC is as clean and safe as possible, making sure that any of your data is not being compromised. But that's going to be pretty much it for this section of the video. Let's keep moving on so we can get our PC as fast as possible. Alrighty guys, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure our internet is set to the fastest DNS server possible, as well as clearing out the internet cache to make sure it is running as fast as possible and as secure as possible. And to do that, what we want to do is go to the control panel in the bottom left of Windows. From here, you want to go ahead and open it up, click Network and Internet. From here, go to Network and Sharing Center. And you want to click the Ethernet button right here, or the Wi-Fi, whatever you're using. And then once you get that open, go to Properties, go to IP Internet Protocol version 4. You want to click this, go and open it up. And I'm going to leave this down in the description as well. But you want to set the automatic to use the following DNS server address. That's going to be 1.1.1.1. And then we're going to change it to 1.0.0.1. This is going to be Cloudfare's DNS, which is going to be the fastest possible for the majority of people. If this is going to be for most people inside the United States. If you're outside of the United States, I would do some testing just to see what the fastest DNS server for your region is, although it's not going to make too big of a difference. This is going to be the most secure one as well. So you want to go ahead and click OK for that. And we're going to do the same thing for the IPv6. Now, I'm going to put these in the description as well, just in case, so you don't have to type them all out. But we're going to change automatically to use the following DNS servers. That's going to be the main one, and here is the second one. We're going to go ahead and click OK, and we can go ahead and exit out of that. Now to finish off with the networking part, we're going to go ahead and open up the command prompt and we're going to run it as an administrator. Make sure you click yes, and from here we're going to type ipconfig/flush DNS. Go ahead and click enter. This is going to flush your DNS, which is going to be safe for security reasons, and it will fix any errors you've had with redirecting to sites. And people can see your DNS server cache if you do not clear it. So any website you've ever visited is going to be in your DNS cache. So even if you clear your history, it's still going to be in your DNS cache. So you want to make sure you clear this for security purposes and stability purposes. Now once you've done that, you can go ahead and close that out, and we can just get going to the final part of the video. But for the last couple tips, guys, what we want to do is we want to take the case off of our PC about once every 6 months and just make sure we clean all of it and get all of that dust out. You want to use like a paper towel, or you just want to use like Q-tips to get in small places, or even a thing of canned air that you can get at like the dollar store or something like that. You can do that once every 6 months. Like I said, that will help keep your temperature safe. And I do recommend reapplying thermal paste every 2 to 3 years just to make sure that your PC doesn't get too hot, specifically the graphics card and the CPU, the processor. That should be every 2 to 3 years. And you can usually find that for pretty cheap as well at your local technology shop, wherever that may be. And I do recommend unplugging any unused USBs. That will help speed up your PC as well and give you less latency. The most obvious increase you could do at this point is buy a solid state drive, an SSD, over a hard drive if you do not have one already. You will almost notice an instant increase or a decrease in load times. It should be like 4 times faster. Windows should boot way faster. This is, if you don't have a solid state drive and SSD, you are lacking. Like, this is the biggest upgrade you could do right now. And I do recommend buying more RAM if you are hitting high utilization. It might be bottlenecking you, and make sure you pay attention to the speeds. DDR5 RAM should be coming out soon, I believe. Right now I have DDR4. If you don't know what that is, it's not too big of a deal, but keep your eye out for it. I recommend you look that up and just study it a little bit. But make sure you prioritize the speed. The speed is going to be huge because it's going to be paired with your processor speed. Now, once you do that, the higher speed you have, the more frames you are going to get as well. So that's huge also. Another thing I do recommend doing is if you just want to get a fresh, clean install, as like you first got your PC, I recommend doing a fresh install of Windows. This is just a surefire way to make sure that everything is back to normal and completely back to how you got your PC in the first place. Make sure you do still do the physical cleaning as well as the dust and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much been it for the video. I appreciate all of you. If you learned anything, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of you watching. If you made it this far, leave me a comment telling you made it this far. There might be a couple prizes down there, who knows. But I appreciate you guys so much. It means the world to me. I cannot wait to make more videos in the future. I'm gonna have a couple more videos. It's gonna be about 1 video every 3 days right now. I'm gonna get back on schedule, and we're gonna be pumping out videos soon. Hopefully we can get monetized and all that. Be sure to connect with me with all my social medias, and I will get back to you guys soon. Thank you all so much. Peace.